What if you could upgrade your brain? What if you could learn English faster? Remember everything you read? Many of us think learning more means reading more. Hours buried in textbooks, hoping it will stick. But often, it doesn't. Read a chapter. Next day, it's gone. New vocab learned, then vanished when you need it. This is frustrating for college students. Let's talk about a situation that might feel very familiar to you. To do that, I want to introduce you to Alex. Alex is a 22-year-old university student, and in many ways, he's probably just like you. He's navigating the exciting, but often demanding, world of higher education, balancing classes, a social life, and dreams for the future. He's ambitious, with his sights set on a competitive graduate program that requires a top-tier GPA. He understands that his performance now will directly shape his opportunities later. He's smart, dedicated, and genuinely wants to do well in his classes. He isn't looking for shortcuts. He's the kind of student who sits in the front row, participates in discussions, and believes that hard work is the key to success. He's willing to put in the hours, to make the sacrifices, because he knows his goals are worth it. But there's one particular obstacle standing in his way this semester. His biggest challenge right now is an important history course. It's a required class for his major, taught by a renowned but notoriously tough professor. The course covers centuries of complex events, dynasties, and revolutions. The textbook is a monster, over 1,000 pages of dense information, filled with names, dates, and intricate causal relationships that all seem to blur together. So, Alex does what any good student would do. He dedicates his entire Sunday to conquering the next chapter. He heads to the campus library, finds a quiet corner in the stacks, and meticulously lays out his tools: the textbook, a fresh notebook, a rainbow of highlighters, and a large cup of coffee. He's ready for battle. He silences his phone, puts in his earbuds with some focused music, and opens the book. For the next 4 hours, he is a machine of productivity. He reads every single word of the 30-page chapter on the fall of the Ottoman Empire. He uses his yellow highlighter for what he thinks are key concepts. Pink is for important names, and blue is for dates. He underlines sentences that seem particularly significant. His textbook pages, once clean and white, are now a vibrant, colorful tapestry of his effort. After his first pass, he does something he believes is crucial for reinforcement. He reads the entire chapter again. This time, he focuses on the parts he highlighted, nodding along as the information feels more and more familiar. He sees the highlighted names and feels a flicker of recognition. He rereads the underlined sentences and thinks, "Okay, I get this." As he packs up his bag, the library lights casting long shadows, he feels a deep sense of accomplishment. He feels productive. He put in the time. He did the work. The chapter is a sea of bright colors, proof of his diligence. He walks out of the library feeling confident, ready for the week ahead. He's mastered the material. Or so he thinks. The problem starts the next morning. That feeling of confident mastery begins to evaporate the moment his alarm goes off. He feels tired, and the details from his study session feel distant, like a dream he can't quite recall. Later that day, in his history lecture, the professor, Dr. Albright, pauses and scans the room. "All right," she says, "let's connect this to last night's reading on the Ottoman Empire's decline. Can anyone tell me the name of the reformist sultan who initiated the Tanzimat reforms and the specific year they began?" A wave of panic washes over Alex. He knows this. He spent 4 hours on this very chapter. He can vividly picture the page in the textbook. He can see his own pink and blue highlighting around the answer. He remembers reading the name. He remembers seeing the date. But now, in the moment of truth, his mind is a complete and total blank. The specific name or date is gone. He quickly glances down at his notes, but they're not much help. They're just a collection of phrases he copied from the book, lacking the context he needs. He can't find the answer. His heart sinks as another student near the front raises her hand and answers confidently, "Sultan Abdülmecid we, in 1839. The professor nods. "Precisely." Alex slumps in his chair, feeling a mix of frustration and embarrassment. All that time, all that effort, and for what? He had mistaken the comfortable feeling of recognizing information for the actual ability to recall it. This is the illusion of competence, and it's a trap that countless dedicated students like Alex fall into every single day. One of Alex's favorite study habits is highlighting. When he reads a chapter, his bright yellow highlighter is always in his hand. He carefully sweeps it across any sentence that seems important. Another one of Alex's core strategies is rereading. After his initial read-through, he goes back and reads it again, sometimes a third time before an exam. His logic, repetition must lead to memory. But science says otherwise. Rereading is actually highly inefficient. The problem, it creates a powerful illusion of knowing. The answer lies in the forgetting curve, described by Hermann Ebbinghaus. The forgetting curve shows we forget information at an incredibly fast rate. Right after learning, memory equals 100%. Brains are built for efficiency. Your brain is constantly bombarded with information every second. So, it has a filtering system. The good news, we can fight the forgetting curve. The secret is to send the right signals to your brain. The most powerful signal is the act of retrieval. Now that we understand why common methods fail us, you now have 7 powerful techniques to read smarter and remember more. This new framework is built on 4 key scientific principles. First, active recall. Second, spaced repetition. Third, imagery. Fourth, chunking. Next, we'll turn these into 7 simple, practical habits you can start today. Turn headings into questions to guide active reading. A guided retrieval practice exercise. Subscribe if you want to remember everything you learn and improve your English faster. It's designed to be just 22 minutes long, mirroring the length of this video. This isn't a random number. It's a manageable block of time that you can fit into even the busiest schedule. Before you start the timer, you need 2 things. First, choose a small, specific piece of material to study. Second, have a notebook and pen ready. This is not optional. Are you ready to transform your study habits forever? Let's start the clock. I want you to grab a book, any book for your class, and a notepad. Now that we've walked through the science and the practical steps, I want to share a story with you. It's a story that brings everything we've discussed to life, and it's about a student named Maya. Her journey might sound familiar, and her transformation is a powerful testament to what happens when you decide to study smarter, not just harder. When I first heard about Maya, she was in the exact same position as Alex, the student we talked about earlier. She was feeling completely overwhelmed, buried under a mountain of textbooks and expectations. The pressure of her upcoming final exams was immense, and it created a constant, low-level anxiety that followed her everywhere. She described it as a fog in her brain. She was putting in the hours, but her mind felt cluttered and forgetful. Important details would slip away just when she needed them most. Her biggest challenge was English. As a non-native speaker aiming for a top grade, she was determined to master a vast and complex vocabulary list. She spent countless late nights staring at flashcards, rereading word lists, and highlighting definitions until the pages were a blur of yellow. She was using all the conventional methods she'd been taught, brute force memorization, but it wasn't working. The words would stick for a day, maybe 2, but then they would vanish, leaving her feeling frustrated and defeated. It was a classic case of the illusion of competence. The familiarity of seeing the words made her feel like she was learning, but she couldn't actually retrieve them from memory when it mattered. Then, one evening while scrolling for study tips online, feeling desperate for a different approach, she discovered the 22-minute study plan and the 7 habits we've just covered. The idea of studying for just 22 minutes seemed almost too simple to be effective. How could such a short amount of time possibly make a difference when her long, grueling hours were failing her? She was skeptical at first, and understandably so. It went against everything she believed about studying, which was that more time automatically equaled better results. The habits, like active recall and spaced repetition, sounded like technical jargon. The idea of drawing images for vocabulary words felt childish. Her mind was filled with doubts. This is just another gimmick. Real learning takes hours of pain and effort. How can 22 minutes replace a 4-hour cram session? But she was at a breaking point. The old way wasn't working, and the exams were getting closer. So she made a deal with herself. She decided to try it for just 1 week. She committed to the experiment fully. She would follow the 22-minute plan every single day, focusing on one of her most difficult subjects, modern history. She set aside her old methods of rereading and highlighting, and embraced the discomfort of active recall. The first few days were challenging. The 90-second focused read felt incredibly short. The 2 minutes of active recall felt surprisingly long. Staring at a blank page and forcing her brain to retrieve information was hard work. It felt less productive than passively reading. But she stuck with it. For her history topic, she stopped just reading about the causes of World War I, and instead, after her focused read, she forced herself to write down the main points from memory. She used the imagery technique, creating a simple, memorable mental picture of a tangled web of alliances. Then, something amazing happened. A few days into her 1-week experiment, her history teacher asked a complex question about the very topic she had been studying. Before, Maya would have shied away, her mind blank. But this time, the answer just appeared. The mental image of the tangled web popped into her head, and the key points she had actively recalled were easy to access. She raised her hand and answered with a clarity that surprised even herself. It wasn't just that she remembered the facts, she understood the connections between them. That was the moment her skepticism began to melt away. Encouraged, she immediately applied the same method to her English vocabulary. Instead of just reading the word ephemeral and its definition, lasting for a very short time, she spent 90 seconds creating a vivid mental image of a mayfly, which lives for only a day. She wrote down the definition from memory. She used it in a sentence. This process took effort, but it created a strong, meaningful connection in her brain. The word was no longer just an abstract piece of data. It was a concept linked to an image and an action. By the time her exams arrived, Maya was a different student. The frantic, anxious energy was gone. In its place, she felt a calm confidence she had never experienced before. She had systematically worked through her subjects in focused, 22-minute blocks. She had built a robust web of knowledge in her mind, strengthened by retrieval practice and spaced repetition. Walking into the exam hall, she wasn't hoping she would remember, she knew she would. The night before her English final, she didn't need to cram all night. She did a short review, looked over her notes, and then did something radical. She closed her books, watched a movie, and got a full 8 hours of sleep. She trusted the process, and it paid off. In the exam, the vocabulary words came to her with ease. The historical dates and concepts were clear and accessible. She not only passed, she excelled, achieving one of the highest scores in her class. Maya's story isn't about magic, it's about method. It's proof that by aligning our study habits with how our brains actually learn, we can achieve more in less time and with far less stress. We've journeyed together through the science of memory, uncovered why old habits fail, and practiced a powerful new study method. You've seen the proof, and you've felt the potential shift within your own mind. Now we arrive at a crucial turning point. This isn't just the end of a video, it's the beginning of your transformation into a master learner. If you are truly serious about remembering everything you learn, about making your English skills not just better, but second nature, then your very first step right now is to subscribe to this channel. Think of it as signing a contract with your future self, a commitment to continuous improvement. By subscribing, you are plugging into a consistent stream of knowledge. This ensures you won't miss any of our future guides, each one meticulously designed to upgrade your brain's hardware and your language software. We'll delve deeper into cognitive science, explore advanced memory palaces, and break down the most complex parts of the English language into simple, unforgettable lessons. Every video is a tool, and subscribing is how you start building your toolkit. But this channel is more than just a collection of videos. It's a home. When you subscribe, you are joining a global family of ambitious, dedicated learners who, just like you, are committed to excellence. This is your community of smart learners. Here, you are not alone in your journey. You are surrounded by peers who understand the struggle and celebrate the victories. This is your support system, your accountability group, and your source of shared wisdom. Welcome. Now, let's talk about feedback, for you and for us. If this video sparked even one aha moment, if you learned at least one new thing that you believe will genuinely help you on your path, please take a second to like this video. Your like is more than just a number. It's a signal. It tells us that the strategies we shared have value, that they resonated with you. It encourages us to create more content just like this, focusing on what truly works. It also helps the YouTube algorithm understand that this is a helpful resource, showing it to other learners who might be struggling, just as you were. Your single click can help someone else find the answers they've been searching for. The forgetting curve is our enemy, but we have weapons against it. One of the most powerful is repetition. That's why I urge you to save this video to your personal library. Create a new playlist, call it Brain Training or English Mastery. By saving it, you're not just bookmarking information, you're building a personal, digital gymnasium for your mind. When you feel your motivation dip, or when you need a refresher on the 22-minute study cycle, your library will be there, ready for you. Rewatching key sections is a form of spaced repetition in itself, reinforcing these lessons until they become an automatic part of how you learn. But saving isn't enough if you want to stay on the cutting edge. To truly transform your learning, you need to make it a habit. And habits are built on cues. So, most importantly, turn on all your notifications. That little bell is the most powerful tool on this page. Think of it as your personal learning coach, tapping you on the shoulder when a new lesson is ready. It's the cue that says, it's time to invest in yourself again. In a world filled with distractions, that notification is your signal to focus, to learn, and to grow. It ensures that your commitment to learning isn't a one-time event, but a continuous, evolving process. Finally, and this is where we elevate from a passive audience to an active, thriving ecosystem of knowledge. Let's make this interactive and help each other. Learning is not a solitary sport. The greatest breakthroughs happen when minds connect. The comment section below is not just a place for opinions. It is our classroom, our laboratory, and our library, all rolled into one. It's where the theory we've discussed becomes a living, breathing practice shared by thousands. To get this engine of collective intelligence started, I've posted a pinned comment down below with one of my favorite, lesser-known memory hacks. Find that comment. Now, I want you to go down there and reply to it with your own tested memory tip. It doesn't have to be revolutionary. Did you discover a unique way to use flashcards? A specific app that helps with spaced repetition? A mnemonic you created for a difficult English word that finally made it stick? Share it. Your small discovery could be someone else's giant breakthrough. Be specific. Don't just say use mnemonics. Give an example, just like we did in the video. Explain it works for you. Imagine what we can build together. A single video can only contain so much information, but a comment section can contain the collective wisdom of thousands of dedicated learners from every corner of the globe. Let's create the most helpful, practical, and supportive comment section on all of YouTube. Let's make it a resource so valuable that people come back just to read the tips shared by the community. Your contribution matters. Theory is easy, but action is what creates change. To bridge that gap right now, I'm giving you a simple, immediate challenge to put your active recall muscle to work. Here's a simple challenge to get you started. Try this. After this video ends, pick up any book, a textbook, a novel, an article. Read just one single paragraph. That's it. Then, close the book, put it away, and on a blank piece of paper, write down 3 keywords that capture the essence of that paragraph. Don't try to write full sentences, just 3 core concepts. This tiny exercise, taking less than 60 seconds, fires the exact neural circuits we've been talking about. It forces retrieval, builds memory, and proves to you that you can do this. You now possess the knowledge and the techniques that separate the most effective learners from everyone else. You have the blueprint. The only thing stopping you from building the future you want, from achieving that fluency, from acing that exam, is you. It's the hesitation to start. It's the voice that says, "I'll do it tomorrow." We are silencing that voice today. There is a timeless proverb that says, "The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step." For many, that first step is the hardest part. They stand at the beginning of the path, overwhelmed by the distance. But you are different. You've already taken the first step by watching this video and learning these methods. Your next step is to apply them. Your next step is to subscribe, to save, to comment, to take the one-paragraph challenge. Your journey has already begun. Your step starts now.